A very happy morning to everyone. On behalf of Guru Shri Shanti Vijay Jain College, I, Padmini Suthar from 2nd BSc Computer Science, General Secretary Student Council, feel immensely delighted to welcome you all to Cyber 2021, an Intra-Collegiate Technical Fest. My special welcome to our today's guest of honor and resource person, Shri S. Madhava Krishnan Sir, Digital Solutions Senior Architect, Digital Commerce, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Welcome, sir. A day without a prayer is a day without blessing, and a life without prayer is a life without power. Let us join our hands together and get ready for the prayer. I now request Dr. VL Jyoti, HOD of Department of Computer Science, to give the welcome address and to introduce our today's guest of honor to the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Padmini. Very good morning, and I welcome you all for today's Intra-Collegiate Technical Fest Cyber 2021. I am Dr. V.L. Jyoti, Head Computer Science Department of GSS Jain College. On behalf of our department, it's my privilege to welcome our Honorable Secretary and Correspondent Dr. P. Gautam Ved Sir. I extend my hearty welcome to our Principal, Dr. M. K. Malati Ma'am. On behalf of our college, I extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Sri S. Madhava Krishnan, Senior Architect, Digital Commerce, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Welcome, sir. I also extend a warm welcome to all the participants and thank you all for joining us. The Department of Computer Science was established in the year 1995. Since then, every year it organizes Intra-Collegiate Technical Fest, Cyber, and this year it is Cyber 2021. Cyber provides a platform for the students to explore new ideas, promote teamwork, leadership quality, and more. The key events of Cyber 2021, it includes Startup Connections, Hackathon, and Syntax Form. It is my privilege to introduce our guest of honor of Cyber 2021, Sri S. Madhav Krishnan, Senior Architect, Digital Commerce, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Sir is a digital commerce solution architect with extensive experience in digital commerce applications, microservices, cloud native solutions, digital transformation, enterprise systems, and other cutting technologies. He carried out many roles such as technology consultant, design and development technology strategies for commerce tools. He devised strategies and provided solutions for customers in transforming monolith platform to microservices across retail, hospitality, and consumer goods. He has an extensive wide experience in architecting and implementing complex solutions for enterprise and web applications. His core skills include microservice architecture, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Spring Boot, Oracle Commerce, Commerce Tools, Docker, MongoDB, and more. Once again, on behalf of our college, I welcome you, sir, and we are all happy to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request our today's guest of honor, Shri S. Madhava Krishnan, sir, to guide the audience and us with his kind and motivational words. Please, sir.
Morning, everyone. It's a really a good day, and I feel very honored to be here. My heartfelt thanks to the organizing the team. Honorable Secretary, Principal Ma'am, and respected HOD Ma'am, and Vijayalakshmi Ma'am for providing contacting me and giving me this opportunity, and all the organizing team. I'm really very very grateful for this opportunity. Actually, I feel very happy to be here. This Cyber 2021. The idea itself is it's very impressive actually. What I mean is like here the event is a perfect mixture of nurturing the business skills blended with the technology front, and also in a right proportion of fun also included. This is just a great platform, I would say, for you all to get started. The reason the reason I'm saying that is that these kind of opportunities are very important, in the sense that today India, as you all know, India produces few lakhs of graduates every year, be it science or engineering or management. But the important question is, how many of them are employable, right? So that is a big gap, right? And the events like this definitely go a long way in bridging the gap. And luckily on the information technology side, you don't need to go to a specific place to learn something. Everything is at your within your hands reach. Just connect to the internet, and this is quite possible with the advanced technologies. And that is the reason I again emphasizing, this is such an important, the first event itself, the startup, right, that immediately caught my attention, right? See, the idea is to the teams to choose some technologies, and based on technology they have to they convert that their understanding into a business opportunity, or business some kind of business or services, and present it to the panel, right? That's a really great thing actually, but it's not all something new or something that we don't know. Say for example, right? Take an example in our family, right? So whenever there is a free time and all the family present, each one want to go out someplace or somewhere, and everybody has their own ideas, right? The dads usually prefer somewhere like beach or something. The moms will prefer temples, right? And you, the young and vibrant people, you prefer going to malls or movies, right? So the thing is, at the end, everybody has their ideas and preferences, but at the end, only one is going to win, right? So it's not a win, within the family. It's not really a win. But the thing is, ultimately, you are going to make only one choice. So how do you make the choice? Whoever is presenting their case better, they are going to ultimately, get that chance. So it's the same thing, right? Instead of the family setup, we are doing it in the outside, right? In the outside world, with some better preparation on the technology that we are going to talk about, and obviously the business, whatever the business case we are making, with some preparation, we can do it better, and everywhere, not just in our job, in your entire life, there will be always situation like this, right? Where you have to really make a case for yourself. And getting that opportunity at the college, that's really great. That's what caught my attention. That's why it makes me also feel very happy and honored to be here. So when these opportunities present, I would ask all of you to make use of that. See, right now it's more of fun. You don't really have to stress yourself, but at the same time you can make a lot of learning. So these kind of opportunities during college days, it's definitely a great boon for all of you. So that it is really great. When I talk about chances, right, I want to um, um, uh, say something from my own experiences, right? Um, so I finished my engineering, in electronics and communication. But that time, I was very interested in the IT, because it's a very new industry by then. The year was 1999, so very new. By 2000, I entered into this. But that time, there was some kind of bridge was required. I did a quick diploma course in advanced Java in IBM Education Center at Trichy, actually. So when the course was over and we were doing the project, and that time during a Pongal holidays, I left to my native, which is actually South Tamil Nadu. See, since there was no active classes, there is no scheduled classes, so I couldn't plan my return very aggressively, right? So, but what happened was in the meantime, there is a campus happened, and most of the people from our center, four or five of them got opportunity. And when I came back and learned that, I was very disappointed actually, because I was not there. And those times it was not like nowadays just a phone call away, even though it's a phone call away that time, but not the mobile, right? So mobile was just making an entry into the world. So the reaching persons is not as easy as it is today. So I was a little disappointed, but I didn't wait. I asked the center, give me one more chance. If possible, reach that company. Arrange me an interview. So they did actually. Based on my request. Eventually, I got that chance. But since it's a outside chance, right? I was given on the job training. It's not a actual employment though, but I was given an opportunity to do on the job training for 6 months. So that's how I got my chance, right? So sometimes you have to create chance. You should not wait for chances, right? Luckily, I created that chance that day, and it worked well, right? So ever since, I never looked back. That provided opportunity to came to Chennai and enter into this IT industry, and that chance was definitely a life-changing one for me. Then also, right? So everything was good. I came to that company and joined, but there was a big surprise on my first day also. It was that the on-the-job training, they later changed their plans to keep it remote. Something like something changed in between. We left that training center to the company. In between, something changed, but luckily there was some training in progress, and we were asked to go and join there. So we reached there. So that person who is in charge of the training, the one Mr. Manimar, who is the best friend, he's not just a supervisor. Our friendship still continues. So it was a different programming, right? So in the IBM center, what I specialized was in Java. but the training was in a different language. It's called Centura. I don't know how many of you are aware of Visual Basics, right? The old UI based, client server programming, right? This is something similar to that. You can always, you can almost compare side to side. But this also now no longer exists. But the training was on that. And also, half of the training was over. So it kind of, it's a 3-week program, and there is already a week and a couple of days was over. So there is nowhere they can put us into, in that training. So we were asked to wait for the next batch. So we were given a really, some very very slow computers, and we were just given a space at the corner of a big room, and asked us to be my guest, learn yourself all you want. But they provided mission and they provided books. So what we did was, we just didn't waste the time, and waited for the next batch to start. In the meantime, I took that book to my room, started learning myself, and did it's after all, you study one language, so it's how different the other language is going to be. At least there might be something comparable, right? So based on that experience, I self taught myself, and not just me, a couple of my friends as well. So next day when we were discussing, hey, this language is different, man, this is like interesting. Then we, one of my friend, he just challenged, okay, say, you're saying this is all good, learning easy, why don't we create a simple application? So that time, like, someone was just playing with a Windows calculator. So the idea was, okay, let's create a calculator application in this language. That's how we took it as a challenge. And that day, I was the one to complete that, implementing that logic, right? So creating a UI is very very easy, but the implementing logic of all these arithmetic operations, I completed first. That was good. We felt good and we kept quiet. So there are one thing, right? So we didn't waste our time. That is the important point I want to make convey here, right? So don't just sit idle waiting for your opportunity. Do something. Do something and make fun. It was fun. See, that's a very important point. Also, we enjoyed doing that. But the last part was that is something even I missed, which is like taking this and showing that to our friend, right? That instructor, that my close friend Manimaran, right? One of my friend did that. Hey, Mr. Manimaran, he hears, see, this is what we did. And after seeing that, man, that person was totally taken back. He didn't expect in the quick time for us to learn and do something like this. Then he realized how much we know in the Java world, right? So then he immediately asked us to stop here, go to the other office. Other office, I mean, it's a same company. It's a different location where Java projects were going on, and he referred to one of his friend. Go and meet that person. I'll also make a call. Tell about you guys. He'll give you some opportunity. That's how it changed. So we didn't wait for our chance. We make better use of our time, and also whenever we achieve something, we make sure that others take a note of it. And that gave me the biggest opportunity of my life. So we went there, met that person. He was such a nice person. Even though he didn't have something ready, but he made sure that we were given a good opportunities, and I made use of those opportunities. And that opened up a lot for us. But again, it's not, after starting, everything is not very I mean, it was good in many ways, but there are a lot of things that is already established. And with the wealth of Java from my academic background, I felt something can be changed, and the logics, the programming logics. I thought, they are doing something in a really, really very hard way. Using a latest libraries, we can do it really easy. There were, obviously, the guys who who are there for long, they may not like that idea. But if you are strong, if you are confident of what you are doing, don't hesitate to challenge the status quo. But, that is another thing I want to, you all make sure that, don't worry about the status quo. If you are confident, if you know it will work, don't hesitate to challenge the status quo. So yeah, these are the, three things I wanted to tell from my initial days. Right, these are all happened in the initial 2 to 3 months of my IT life. After that, 21 years have gone. Now I am here, senior solution architect for commerce applications, and my growth was steady, and pleasant experience. But it's all possible as long as you are keep learning. The constant learning along the way, it is very, very important. That is the only thing that can help you to stay relevant. So it's not like that you put in a lot of effort, you study now and get an opportunity, and if you think that is the end of the hardship, it's not like that. It's not just for IT. Say the doctors who has completed his MBBS like in 90s. If they stay in the 90s treatment, that's it. He'll not be relevant in current world, right? So they have to keep update to the modern advancements in the medicine and the treatments. So it's the same thing, and not just doctors. We have to do the same thing. It's applicable for any professional, right? Any professional, they have to keep learning, keep up to date. That way, you can always be, get a right kind of opportunity to be more relevant. Yeah, that's how I'm today here today. As a senior solution architect, currently doing the designing microservices and cloud native applications. It was 5 years ago. Those things are new to me. Not just me. The entire world was. These are relatively new technologies. Even now, it is very relevant. New technology only. Not many has mastered it. But back when 5 years ago, it was very new. We were open for the challenge. We learned. You know, now we are in a pretty stable position, and I can create solid solutions in the current times. Um, um, Cloud, with cloud, modern computing has, see, if anything that the last 2 decades has taught us, it's this thing, right? Especially the technology, it moves pretty fast. It's very, very moving in a very fast pace, and the technology providers are also doing a great job by creating new hardwares and softwares, and make sure that everyone is keeping up to date. It provides a lot of opportunity, and more our lives, especially a lot of business moving to cloud. There is an increased need to look across the wide technology stack, full technology stack, right from your hardware to the cloud. So many choices are available. The industry is moving towards more of an open and heterogeneous ecosystem. That it's not like you stuck with only one option for doing things. There are multiple options, so whichever works for us, you can do mix and match and get your ecosystem built. And that's how the transformation is happening. And the modern computing, it's a classical example, right? Your AI, your ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. So there are so many things, right? So how it is transforming is that this AR, augmented reality. You would have seen in the e-commerce sites, see where you can just scan yourself, and try different cloths. And just yesterday, I was watching. I think it's a Lenskart advertisement on TV. some sports commentator, uh, uh, trying different specs. First, the app scans his face and enable them to try a different specs. And it's a augmented reality actually, right? So like that, there are a lot of things in the AI, artificial intelligence world. So many things are happening, and cloud makes it very easy. In the sense, the cloud providers provide a lot of base technology services by themselves, and so that the consumers, like business, they don't have to really start everything from the scratch. All they have to worry about is how to prepare the data, train the data, and the rest, the managed services by the cloud providers, that takes care of everything. So that's how the world is transforming. But uh, but let's not worry about because the technology disruption is huge. Things are changing so fast, and you don't really need to worry about, hey, I know one, I only know this, I don't know that. It's not like that. Whatever you know, whatever you learn, do it properly, right? That is what is most important. So that may become irrelevant in a couple of years, but it doesn't matter, is what I'm saying, right? I don't know how many of you watch cricket, right? Our captain calls Dhoni, in the post match conferences. Maybe the match he lost, or maybe the match he won, you might heard him saying that everything is in the process. They don't really care about what the result on that day, but they care about the process. If you do the process, then you will see the result. That's it's a golden words. It's applicable for us also, right? You learn. The process is important. You learn it good, learn it proper. Doesn't matter that technology may go irrelevant, but the process of learning how you approach a new technology, that is going to stay with you. So that is, nobody is going to take that away from you, right? And um, and that will help you, keep relevant in the fast changing technology space. So you learn something today, sometimes it's going to be stay there forever. For example, I learned Java in 98, and it is still relevant. But it's the not many things stay that long. Since it's a programming language and was very modern that time. It's not so modern nowadays. Nowadays there are so many other modern languages arrived in the scene. But the point is, you learn. My learning experience of Java only helped me to learn many things in the future, because you know how to approach. So when you do one thing, the first thing in a proper way, definitely it's going to help you in the other things, right? When you learn the other things. So yeah, keep well in the modern technology. A lot is changing, but don't worry about that. Pick those something, and cloud is what very relevant today. Everything is moving to cloud. So I myself dropped that word cloud quite a few times. So maybe most of you got a grip of what is cloud. Um, but I still give you some intro into what is cloud computing and all, right? So cloud computing, as it stands, right? The cloud, you can usually relate that to internet. Okay, so basically cloud computing is nothing but the services, including the servers, the storage, databases, networking, so softwares, right? And like I said, the modern computing, like the analytics using the AI, and big bunch of data, all those things delivered over internet. That is what is cloud is, right? So at the end, you need to have, see, for a computer to work, there has to be an infrastructure, right? So these cloud providers, they have a massive infrastructure, hardwares, networking, at their back of it, and support that using virtualization and other stuffs, right? And all that is what is internet. So sorry, that is what is cloud is. So basically, you consume these services over the internet. right? That is at the very basic of cloud. So what is it different? The different in the today you have a system, you go and log in. It's a physical system. So in the cloud, it's a VM, something created and maintained by a provider. You still you need some simple terminal, and that's all you need now. But you log into that system and do whatever you want to do. It's the same thing, right? But it's delivered over the internet. So what it is helping is that the companies, they don't need to maintain all this infra by themselves. They don't have to worry about maintenance, the costing, all those things. Somebody else is going to take care of that, and you are going to worry about only the things that you need to worry, which is whatever the operation, day-to-day operations you do, in terms of commerce, where I belong, right? So we care about building applications and hosting applications. That's all. Even the hosting itself, they take care, and all we worry about is building an application, building an executable, and dropping it wherever we need to. That's all. The hosting itself it's a managed service, and this help us in managing cost. So basically the top benefits, I would say, right, the cost is the biggest benefit, because you pay only for the service that you use. So that is the biggest benefit. And the speed, see, if you want to increase the speed or capacity of your systems, you can do it within a fraction of maybe if not a fraction of seconds, but within few minutes it's achievable. But if you are maintaining that hardware, so assume you have to procure a new server, and there are so many things you have to order. The server has to come, you have to set it up, from the installation, all the networking, blah blah blah, everything, right? So here the speed in terms of the service itself, and also the speed with which you are up and able to up and run. So these are all lot of things matter, and most important thing is the security, right? Security in these connected times today, it's of very 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 important stuff. um, and obviously if we handle everything ourselves, uh, there is a lot of things that you need to take care in terms of security. But with cloud, they themselves take care of most part of it, and we are left with dealing only with the few things that we want. So that is the huge relief for anyone, right? So you are benefiting from cost, you are benefiting from security, and obviously the performance. So these are the top benefits that you are getting from the cloud. And when you say cloud, right, there are different types of cloud computing, right? You may heard AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. These are all public clouds. Means a third party who maintains everything on their own, and we consume it over the internet, right? That's a public cloud. And that is another type of cloud, which is private cloud. Private cloud, it can be done in two ways. See, some companies like or our defense departments, or healthcare departments, they may not want to keep their workloads on the public cloud because of the sensitive data nature. They might want to do it in their own data center, right? That is one option of doing it. Or having a public provider itself, create a separate private environment for these companies, right? So that private set, right? The private, when I say private, few infra networking, all those things will be dedicated for this client. Nobody else can go into that. So these are two types of private you can get. But the idea is everything, the service and the infrastructure is maintained for only one particular consumer. That is what is private cloud. And the third option is the hybrid cloud, right? So only these three are public, private, and hybrid. Hybrid is the mix of both public and private. One of our client, they use us in the classic way. Most of their workloads are on public cloud. But for the credit card handling, you need to have a PCI compliance workload, right? So PCI compliance, they didn't go for cloud. That is because the PCI compliant cloud resources are slightly costlier, and also they had a very good infra supporting from their on premises data center. So they opted for hybrid cloud. Okay, I'll host PCI myself. The rest of the things hosted at cloud, and all my applications can connect through a dedicated networking connection called express route. So everything, at the end, if you look at it, it's all single network. Everything is in the single environment. But it's if you really look at it, it's a hybrid nature. So these are the three different types of clouds. And there are cloud services also. There are different types. Infrastructure as a service, that is nothing but getting a VM, right, which virtual machine, creating a virtual machine of, okay, I want a Windows OS or Linux OS, with 4 GB RAM, this much hard disk, like that. You specify and create a virtual machine. That is called infrastructure as a service. And there is a second type is called platform as a service, where you get everything that is related for basically for building an application. There you may need more than what simple virtual machine is, right? So we use Kubernetes. I don't know how many of you heard of that word. It's a Docker orchestration platform. So Microsoft and Google, even AWS, they all have a managed services to manage whatever the Kubernetes deployment that we do. So that is called platform as a service. So that entire container deployment platform, it is provided by the cloud providers. And there are a lot of database also provided right by them. We configure the databases, but the entire platform is provided by them. Right, we don't maintain anything, and that is what is platform as a service. And software as a service, that is pretty much even now we are all connecting through such a service only, right? We are consuming this service, this streaming software over internet, right? So this is a classic example. What we are using right now, it's a SaaS. And there is a fourth one is serverless computing. This is actually not a serverless computing, because you need a server to run anything. But the things are that is handled by the provider in the backend. So all we need to do is create our application, hand it over to the provider. They will host it and they will run it whenever there is a demand. So that is what is called serverless computing. So cloud computing, as I said, it's used in multiple areas. Today, it is very, very, very integrated with our lives. Whatever you see, you can rest assured that the data is going to a cloud. So I don't even want to go into giving you the example, but whatever you think of, like collecting a data, storing a data, analyzing it, and after using the analysis, if you want to embed an intelligence, everything is cloud hosted. And the SaaS platforms, right, the software as a service, again, this the example I mentioned, like the streaming itself, like this. Today, the entire world is moving towards SaaS, I would say, and most of the business model. And in India, there are so many startups coming up in this SaaS space. So this SaaS, this kind of new SaaS we are seeing, it's all possible because of the cloud. Because you don't need to plan so many things when you that is the beauty of the cloud, right? So you don't really need to say today there are 100 requests and tomorrow there is 1,000 requests. That is a 10-time increase, right? If you don't have cloud, if you are managing everything on your own, you have to plan a lot of things to handle this difference. But cloud makes it easy, makes it possible, because cloud scales it automatically for you. It handles 10 today, 100 tomorrow, 1,000 the next day. It's all possible, It's all possible and happens without even we knowing it. And that is the reason now The basic infra and all the networking and storage things are taken away from us. Taken away in the sense, our concerns of for those things are taken away from us. We can concentrate on the building core functionality, business capabilities. So that is what is cloud is enabling us to do that. So that is something I want to go a little deeper into the cloud. Maybe if I go even further, it may take a lot of time. So I'll stop with that cloud intro for you. And there are a lot of cloud materials available today, and there are a lot of for example, Microsoft Azure, they have this learn modules. All are free for you, right? You can learn about those things. Make use of those the materials available online. There are some Udemy and other courses are offering courses with a very less. I don't know exactly how much, but if you want a little more professional training, go for those courses as well. But at the end, make yourself familiar with what is cloud, because that is what because that will be a minimum expectation moving onwards. So just make yourself available. Make yourself familiar with what is cloud. So with that, I'd like to move towards closing, right? So that's all I wanted to convey, basically, right? So the things so far I emphasized is grab your chances, even if it is not there, and if you feel there is a chance, don't wait, create those chances, and learn, keep learning, keep up to date. That is very, very important. And also keep the learning, if it is relevant to the current times, that is even more good for you. And the mindset is very important. So there is always the great difference between a fixed versus growth mindset. You can have a fixed mindset. You can achieve that, and hey, I did that, and keep yourself idle, and you may not be benefited that much, right? So growth mindset is what is very, very important, right? Uh, Growth is a sense, you don't need you need to achieve certain things on the materialistic things and all, right? So it's a growth as a person, as a professional. That's what you have to look for. Always be resilient, because things, not always all the things will go in your way. There may be few things go here and there, but you have to be resilient. Stand up and keep moving forward. That's the way to take it. Take setbacks as stepping stones. We all know, right? The Edison, in his 1000th attempt, he finally found that invented the light. But somebody asked about previous attempts. He said, it was all learning, right? So that's how you have to approach. So it may seems like a philosophical, but it's not, right? So every time you learn that, what you don't do. So that's a learning, right? So make sure that every time you learn good, and make sure that you do not repeat those not correct, not so correct steps, right? So learn that's a takeaway from every setbacks also. And also, don't hesitate, think big. See, now, some 5 years ago, if somebody talked about private space tourism and all, we would have laughed off, right? But this year, there are already a couple of flights, private space tourism happened already. So that's the beauty, right? If you think something like that, right ahead of your time, it may be overwhelming. It may be overwhelming to think of that. But you have to persist, right? If you think you are on the right path, yeah, you should persist with that. And sometimes you may need to take the road not traveled by many. you have to open for a change. The classic example is like Netflix versus Blockbuster. Netflix, as of today, it's a different thing. It's a streaming the OTT platform. Many of you might be using it. But the Netflix, when they entered into business, Blockbuster was the biggest DVD rental store. They have a store in many places across all the cities, and people just subscribe in a monthly subscription, and they just go rent a DVD and return it to next day or something like that, right? So with monthly subscription, there is unlimited DVDs you can take, but the thing is, it's a store based, right? So people has to go there to a store, and Blockbuster was the biggest success in US until Netflix came. What Netflix did is they shipped the DVD to your home through email, through proper packages. So they will you create an online account, you log in, and you ask for a particular movie. Send this movie today, and they will send it with an envelope. Even the return envelope also within that package. So basically, you open that box, you watch the DVD, and use that return envelope and put that DVD inside and drop it in a nearby mailbox. That's it, right? It's as simple. The nearest mailbox in US, most of the apartments, they have a collection, a mailbox collection there. So this is all happened when I was there. I was a Blockbuster subscriber myself. I used to go every day to Blockbuster, take a DVD. Once in 2 days, maybe I watch a movie, and but it's very close. I didn't feel much of a difficulty doing that. But that may not be the case for everyone, right? So not everyone has the Blockbuster store nearby. So this model has completely changed the world, and Blockbuster slowly they went away. They went out of business, and Netflix, picked it from there, and they become the number one choice for DVD rentals. But that's when they grabbed this opportunity, right? The video streaming can be even better. Instead of sending the DVD, the people can start the DVD from the simple app from their TV, right? That is how the streaming started, and now the entire world is on the OTT platform. See, this is nobody has think of that like 20 years ago, but the way they entered into DVD rental business and changed that how. So the entrepreneurship thinking, coupled with technology enablement, that is what can give you lot of success. And this Netflix is it's one of the thing. The people talk about Kodak also, right? Kodak stuck in the film world. They were very averse to the digital picturing technology, and they went out of it. They were not they didn't stay relevant to the current happening. So eventually, they also went bust. Now they are there, but the digital photography and digital thing has taken over, and they kind of fall back. Something similar to Blockbuster, Kodak also there, another story. So these are all the things, right? So be open to change. This may be bigger examples I'm saying. Not everyone is one of you or me going to end up in that kind of situation every day or in our life. But the magnitude may be a little less, but a similar kind of situation will be present to us in a different point of time, be it in a professional or personal, but always open to change. That is what I'm trying to say. See, it will be tough. Nobody is saying it's easy, but just because it is hard doesn't mean that it's impossible, right? It is possible. You can do it. Yes, yes, definitely you can. With that note, this is Madhava Krishnan signing off. Have a good day, and good luck for the Cyber 2021. It's very exciting as I told you in the beginning. And make sure everyone take part and present. It doesn't matter whether you win or not. The important thing is you start that process, right, and learn how to do it. And most important thing is enjoy while you do it. Okay, all the best. Once again, thanks for the opportunity. Good day to you all.
Thank you, sir. We are indeed mesmerized by the way you explained us about the basics of cloud computing clearly and precisely. And we are also highly motivated by your encouraging words, sir. Uh,
Thank you.
Also, we are grateful for your presence with us today because it has made our event meaningful and informative, sir.
Thank you.
Before we move towards the end of the session, there are some queries to be answered. So, can I read them out?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So the first question is by Padmini. My question is, what is the major difference between cloud computing and data science? Which one will be better and useful to pursue as a career? Thank you.
Okay, that's an interesting question, and data science is a area. Okay, so that is because traditionally we have only a very limited amount of data, but now with all this cloud computing and not, even before cloud computing, but with the cloud computing, it is the data collection is become easy, and we are sitting on tons and tons of data, right? How to make use of that data? Making use of that data, deriving meaningful information from that, and looping it back to the customer experience. That is what is now becoming a more interesting thing, right? Say for example, in the commerce, I can tell you from my example itself, right? um, eh, some a decade ago, it's all like the e-commerce experience is about the it's in the retailer's perspective, like hey, this is what my product, and this is what the rate, and whether it's available or not, all those things. And you just go there, browse it, and just buy it. But now, especially if you are Amazon user, you will notice that people looked at this. They also looked at this, and based on your previous purchasing history, hey, I suggest these products for you. This is what is the this is possible because of the data, that tons of data that is available, right? And what makes it possible is creating that insights from the data. That is what is data science is called. It's all about, right? The machine learning, the artificial intelligence, it's all you can call it put together into that the machine learning and AI is possible because of the data science. So the data science is one of the most sought after thing. And that is the if you are, but it's very 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 technical and numerical intensive. All this the numerical formulas and stuff. If you have a passion in that, please pursue that. They are the biggest paid professionals. I shouldn't say that, but currently, yeah, so if you have a passion in data, go for that. But the cloud computing, right? I say, it's a different thing. It's not specific to a area or anything. It's rather the complete everything, right? Even the data science related things are provided through cloud computing. So cloud computing is basically providing the service over internet, any service. One of the services is data science. Anything, not a data science related services also provided by cloud computing. So these are all two different things. And cloud computing is also the hottest, and there are a lot of opportunities to go for in cloud. And it's continuously evolving also. The DevOps, I don't know whether you heard the term DevOps. That is the mostly sought after developer in today's world. They basically take care of deploying and maintaining the operations of that applications, but it's 100% automated today. and those DevOps engineers are very in demand in current world across the different cloud providers, AWS, Azure, or GCP. So both are good choices. Depending on where your passion is, right? Um, See, my recommendation will always be where you have to find out where your mind is, right? If you think the computing providing these services is what more making you happy, go for that. Or some people are like they're very data and this numerical algorithms, right? There are so many algorithms they have that the data science people have to deal with, right? If you think your passion is there, go for that. So it depends on both are very good only, if I don't want to give a edge over this or that, but I would say both are a good thing to pursue, I would say.
Thank you, sir. Next question is by Nivedita R. Hi, sir. What are the security benefits of using cloud computing?
Hi, Nivedita. This is a very deep question, I would say, right? So, I touched roughly on that. When I was going through the benefits, right? Security, as you see, it's not one simple thing, Nivedita, or all of you, right? You When it comes to a software production environment, security means a lot in different layers, right? There is your network or your environment, and then environment itself is demarcated into DMZ, demilitarized zone, and internal area. That's how the bigger network will be split. The DMZ zone is where the user requests comes in. So from the DMZ zone, none of the outside requests can go into the safe zone, the secured zone. And there are two zones: the DMZ zone, secured zone. Secured zone, only the request from DMZ zone can come in, or all the internal calls can happen. So this is just a high level view I'm giving, but you just imagine, right? So that networking and placing components into different things, that itself is a one kind of security, right? And you have a firewall in between all these different layers. That is about the deployment security. When it comes to application security, there are the logging in is also one kind of security. Once you log in, you are given a proper security token. For all your next request, the token will be passed on. You may not know, but that is what is happening behind the scene in the browser. Okay, when you log in, you will be given some kind of identity, right? That identity will be sent along with every request that is made from your browser. So that is a one type of application security. So now I talked about the security so far, right? So, but how it make relevant with the cloud, right? With the cloud, the basic networking security itself is provided by them because it's their network too, right? So they will be safeguarding their network from outside attack, right? So you are by default you are protected one layer, and between this and from their layer to our networks, I mean our network is with from their network, our network lies within their bigger network, right? So those things, they have lot of services to monitor, and if there is something suspicious, they themselves will block that. That those are the things. So you don't really have to worry about anything outside your network, but within the cloud providers network. So that gives you a lot of freedom to operate, right? So now it's all you need to worry about is that what is coming inside only to your DMZ zone, right? So I gave you a lot of technical terms. Don't worry about that. But the thing is, when for a production environment, there are so many things you need to take care in terms of security. But the cloud providers, they take care of most of the things for you, and you need to now worry about only the few things that you are exposing to the outside world. So that is the freedom that they are giving you, Nivedita.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can I read out the next question?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Go ahead. As long as you have time, I'm fine.
Thank you, sir. Next question is by Rajeshwari. Sir, can you tell a real life example using especially Kubernetes engines and with the
Mhm.
infrastructure?
Okay, a real world example showing that will be, because Kubernetes and all, it's a behind the scene, right? So first, I'll give you I'll tell you what is Kubernetes, right? I hope you are familiar with Docker. Do you? So if not, it's no big deal, right? Docker also it's a container, right? So container self-contained application, executable is what is container is. So they basically have something to the OS kernel, some libraries to talk to the OS kernel, mostly on the Linux side. Now Azure promoting Windows container also, but nobody's using it. So let's stick to the Linux, right? So containers are the self-contained, independent. You can build it and deploy it anywhere. So what you eventually do is you create your application, you build your application, and whatever the other softwares you need to run that application. Say, for example, if your application is a Java, so you need to have a JDK or at least JRE, right, to run that application. And similarly, whatever you need to run your application, right, you pack everything into one simple deployable unit that is what is called a Docker container. Okay, so now the for the cloud applications, most of the applications are built into Docker containers. But managing that many containers in a production environment, say the current client I'm working with, they have 200 close to 200 services. So each service can have a 5 to 10 different deployments, the same application, but 10 different running instances. But I may want to increase from 10 to 15, or I may want to reduce from 10 to 5. Both are possible depending on my need. I'll keep changing that. But managing that 200 thing, 200 applications over thousands of deployment, it's managing that is very difficult. That is where Kubernetes comes into picture. Kubernetes is nothing but the container orchestration platform that does that management for you. So in Kubernetes, you just create the service and tell them, hey, this is the Docker image for this service. I want minimum 10 running instance. If the demand goes up, you can go up to 20 or 30, whatever, right? So it's all whatever you say in the configuration, but Kubernetes takes care of deploying and maintaining that containers for you, and also it provides an internal network for these containers to talk between them. So all those things are possible by Kubernetes. So you cannot compare Kubernetes with the standard infrastructure. Standard infrastructure is nothing but VMs, machines we create, and we link those VMs and run our applications and make sure this application from one VM is visible to other things. It's all too many manual stuffs. It's not a cloud native approach at all. It's a pretty basic stuff. If I do it in our home or in your college lab, we may do it that way. But eventually, those things are also going away, right? Most institutions will eventually, in the future, they will replace all your machines at your labs, and they will provide you a simple terminal to connect to cloud and start working your lab in the cloud instances itself. That's what will the future. I don't know whether your college already has enabled that, but eventually they will do that.
Thank you, sir. Um, I really heartfully thank you once again, sir. We are really grateful to have you had with us today. Your kind words have lighted our paths, and we feel really thankful, sir.
Sure,
I
sure.
now request,
The
thank you,
pleasure
sir.
is all mine, Patni. Thank you.
Even we are pleasured, sir. Uh, I now request Dr. S. Meenakshi ma'am, Program Coordinator of Cyber 2021, Department of Computer Science, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning to all. It gives me immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Cyber is an intercollegiate technical fest conducted every year by the Department of Computer Science of our college to provide a platform to demonstrate the technical skills of our students in the digital environment. First and foremost, on behalf of the Department of Computer Science, we express our sincere thanks to our Honorable Secretary, Dr. Gautam Bai, for his continuous support in conducting such events. We thank our respected principal, Dr. M.K. Malati, who motivates and guides us in each and every academic activity with keen interest to organize the programs in a perfect and glorious manner. We express our heartfelt thanks to the chief guest of today's program, Sri S. Madhavakrishnan, Senior Architect, Digital Commerce, Cognizant Technology Solutions, for accepting our invitation to share his profound knowledge with us among his tight schedule. Also, we congratulate the student coordinators Rihana Shamim and Batmini Sudar for their hard work and dedication in organizing Cyber 2021 successfully. In addition, we wish and congratulate the other student coordinators Firdos Fatima, Sonali, Mamta, Rumana Parveen, Devadarshini, Pavitra, Khadija Farhana, and Yashida Jain, and all other students of our department for showing their interest and full support in organizing the event. We wish and congratulate all the student participants of today's event to achieve success in all their educational endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. With this note, we would like to end the session. Thank you for joining us.